人死咗之後嘅世界會係點嘅呢？死之前嘅景象又會係點嘅呢？瀕死嘅經驗你又有冇試過呢？卓飛揾嚟高靈性嘅朋友，加上世界知名一位經歷過瀕死之後再復燃嘅女士，分享死過一次才學會愛嘅感覺。
歡迎收聽 MJ13，我係你嘅節目主持卓飛，喂，大家好啦。咁啊，今日咧就繼續 MJ13啊，今次咧就翻咗嚟我哋元網台呢個錄音室嘅錄影啊。咁啊，歡迎收聽同埋收睇 MJ13，成日都講唔到口。好啦，今日咧喺我面前咧就兩位嘉賓嗱，即係容許我介紹咗少少嘢先，因為咧過去大家有聽開卓飛以前嘅節目嘅人咧，咁都覺得啊，喂，以前你做山城都好多嘅一啲好 new age 嘅題目嘅喎，但係點解你做 MJ13 之後咧，嗰啲題目好似即係比較好似係恐怖一啲嘅，例如你要講啲陰謀論嘅嘢啦，或者好多啲政府嘅揭嗰啲政府嘅黑幕啦，即係好 negative，會唔會有啲正面啲嘅咧？咁上個 season 咧，我啊有一集自己喺度講啦，咁啊講咗呢個 Guardian Angel， 所以啲反應咧相當之奇怪，非常之好啊！我估唔到，我以為會俾人鬧嘅，點知嗰日咧會俾人反應係非常之好，大家都話好正。咁因為咁嘅原因咧，我哋今次咧呢一次咧，我揾到呢兩位嘉賓喺度咧。如果大家有以前有聽山城首期，同埋或者有睇 Big Boys Club 咧，都會認得其中一位女士啦。咁但係咧呢位女士今次咧就阿 Shirley 就係 House of Light 嘅老闆，係咪？咁但係最主要咧，今日最主要咧就係呢一位女士啦，咁咧就係 Anita Moorjani， 你好 ，Anita，
好 ，thank you，
係啦，咁啊嗱，其實咧大家即係有啲朋友可能，咦，點解咁得意嘅咧？個名咁熟嘅咧？其實咧，我要介紹咗少少先。Anita 咧就係呢一本書啊，呢本叫做《Dying to Be Me》嘅一本書，咁就係一本喺紐約嘅一本暢銷書啦。咁佢就1年之內咧，呢本書已經係出咗32個唔同嘅翻譯版本啦。唔同嘅語言翻譯版本啦，咁其實呢本書係2012年寫嘅，咁就係寫翻 Anita 本身佢嘅一個經歷啦。咁然之後，呢本書因為即係最初佢都唔係寫本書，最初都係寫個 blog。係啊。咁然之後咧就上咗去即係個 blog 啦。咁然之後外國有啲美國嗰邊有啲人睇咗之後就覺得個故仔非常之 interesting， 跟住咧就同佢出書。2個禮拜之後咧就已經上咗New York Times 嘅 bestseller list， 即係最暢銷書嘅榜啦，咁然之後1年之內就譯咗32個唔同嘅版本出嚟。咁咧中文咧就叫做死過一次才學會愛，咁我又中意個英文多啲喎，唔知點解個名。中文個名我又覺得好台灣嘅感覺。英文個名我都覺得，我真係覺得個名正到不得了。咁 anyway 今日咧就要歡迎兩位女士參加今次呢個 MJ13嘅錄影。嗱，逐啲嚟，咁可能有啲聽眾朋友會話咦，咁 Anita 佢講英文點？其實 Anita 咧係識講中文嘅，
少少
識講中文。咁佢咧就係喺香港大，喺新加坡
出世，
喺新加坡出世就喺香港大。
我2歲嚟香港。
係啦，咁啊 Anita 就堅持就話佢英文唔係幾，中文唔係幾好，咁啊有啲都會講英文啦。咁啊 Shirley 咧就係今次嘅功臣啦，因為點解咧？其實呢一位 Anita 咧，我想訪問好耐。咁啊，因為我都聽到佢嘅故事啦，咁就係一個即係由一個即係瀕死經驗啦嚇，一個進入咗一個昏迷狀態到好返，再有一啲即係一啲新嘅能力啊咁樣。咁其實係一個好值得大家去理解嘅一個故仔嚟嘅。咁但係一路都揾佢唔到，我又嘗試過，因為 Anita 係好忙嘅，即係佢係要周圍飛，因為太緊要啦佢嘅故事。咁所以咧就我想揾佢啦，咁但係即係都一路都無從入手，又唔知佢幾時忙完啦咁。點知咧就呢個世界真係犀利，即係呢個大宇宙啊，勁啊！即係我係正想係 煩緊點樣揾 Anita 嘅時候咧，跟住阿 Shirley 咧就 call 我，佢話：誒，你有冇興趣訪問 Anita？ 咁我仲以為我自己未瞓醒覺，我話你講邊個？點解個名咁熟嘅咧？咁樣你知香港人對於外國人嘅名有時要重新聽幾次，聽幾次你先醒起嗰個人係講緊嗰個人噶嘛。咁我嚇你揾到佢？因為我心啱啱諗完，跟住阿 Shirley 就話係啊，因為我知道 Shirley 就同你做完個訪問咁，跟住 Shirley 就問我有冇興趣，我話梗係有啦，即係難得機會啊嘛。好啦，咁而家咧就終於咧就安排咗兩位坐咗喺我面前啦，咁啊做一個咁樣嘅訪問啦，咁啊希望大家朋友咧，即係今次留心聽啊，就會覺得即係呢個世界並唔係你哋諗到咁簡單嘅，有好多嘢。咁嗱，我哋逐樣講啦。咁啊，如果 Anita 喜歡，可以繼續用英文作答，冇問題啊。咁我哋會翻譯翻啦，盡量睇下阿 Shirley 可以幫手翻譯翻個英文。咁我問題我都會問翻用廣東話問翻嘅。咁啊好啦，咁啊 Anita 歡迎你啦。咁我想問下啦，其實你成個本身個故事，譬如你本人個背景係做咩嘅咧？其實你
You mean what did I used to do before?
Your work.
My work, I was something called a cultural trainer.
Cultural trainer.
Yes, which means I used to help expatriates in Hong Kong. I used to teach them about Hong Kong culture. So that they could do business in Hong Kong and business with China. So mainly, 嗰啲外國人啦, you know, that work in big companies like big banks and things. I used to do the training for them that they can integrate into Hong Kong.
係啦，咁啊 Anita 講啦，佢即係之前係做文化嘅嗰啲叫咩 trainer， 即係去訓練員咁啦。咁佢主要做嗰樣嘢咧，就係去對一啲外國人啦。咁如果佢哋想喺香港做一啲生意嘅時候咧，咁佢就會去俾一個 training 佢哋去講翻香港嘅文化係點樣樣咯。
OK， 即係以你嘅背景。因為你喺香港大啦，係啊，咁你又英文一定同佢哋溝通得到啦，咁所以變咗用你嘅方式去解釋俾佢聽中國人點諗嘢嘅，
係啊 ，exactly
點樣做嘢，因為同外國人其實好唔同噶嘛，
係好唔同啊。And what I used to teach them is how to build trust with Hong Kong people， 因為咧，如果if they don't understand each other, they can't trust each other, so they can't do business together. But when I teach them about how to connect with Chinese people and how to get Chinese people to trust them, then they can do business more smoothly.
係啦，咁 Anita 話最主要一樣嘢就係話教嗰啲外國人啦，點樣咧去同香港人係建立一個信賴啦、信任啦嚇。咁佢話當如果佢哋想同香港人做生意嘅時候，一定要有個信任先至可以做落去咯。
OK， 咁嗱，咁啊成個生活都係一個文職嘅人啦，咁。我自己覺得係 pretty boring lifestyle 啦，即係日日坐喺度咁啊，要同啲即係做生意嘅人去聯絡，咁係幾悶㗎，係咪？咁但係你嘅生命去到02年就有一個好大嘅轉變，係咪咧？
係啊，I was diagnosed with lymphoma in 2002. I had a lump over here on my neck.
係啦，咁啊 Anita 就係講話係佢喺2002年嘅時候就被診斷啦，有一個淋巴癌嘅。咁嗰時係有一個冧係即係一個腫瘤啦，喺佢個頸嗰度。係
好大個腫瘤定係咩？就少少一個。
初就少少，at first 少少 ，and then個醫生話應該冇嘢啦。She gave me antibiotics。佢話可能係 you're fighting the flu or something。So she said come back in 2 weeks。咁 in 2 weeks it still wasn't gone。And then and it was a little bit bigger。And then and then she said we better do a biopsy。And then after the biopsy, it was confirmed that it was lymphoma.
係啦，咁啊 Anita 就係講話初係好細個啦，咁跟住就醫生就俾咗啲 antibiotic 係抗生素係啦，俾佢食。咁但係過咗2個禮拜之後翻嚟咧，都仲有喺度啦。咁所以就醫生幫佢去check 係咪嗰啲叫做即係
化驗啊？
化驗係啦，咁就發現真係有 cancer 啦。
OK，喂，咁。當時成個人係點樣咧？好多人都 香港有好多人有 cancer 啦，咁但係當然即係我唔希望有啲人即係講得大家利是講句，呢個都唔係一件好嘅事啊。咁喺你親身經歷啦，有人親口話俾你聽，你有淋巴癌嘅時候，你當時個反應係點？
好 shock 啊，係好 shock and immediately I thought I was going to die because I had lost 2 people to cancer already, very close friends, young, my own age, and so I thought cancer equals death.
係啦，咁Anita就係講話佢一聽到嘅時候就好震驚啦，非常之震驚，因為佢當其時喺佢生命裏面已經係有2個即係好近嘅朋友過身啦，一個係好後生，同佢當其時差唔多年紀，咁所以佢就會當 cancer 就係已經係等於會死咯。
OK, then what 你跟住做過啲咩咧？
咁跟住咧，
佢就係聽醫生講噶啦，係咪
？So at first I didn't want to do the conventional chemotherapy because my best friend had cancer and she did chemotherapy, but she did not survive. So I wanted to try all the alternative methods. But what I noticed is that no matter what I did, I was very, very scared because now I had the diagnosis that I have cancer. So I was very, very scared. So every day I would wake up in the morning and the only thing in my mind was that I have cancer. So everything I did every day was because I have to fight this cancer.
God, what a torture.
Yeah.
係啊，咁Anita 就係講啦，其實佢嗰時咧，佢自己覺得佢唔想做傳統嗰啲化療啦，咁所以佢又想即係去試下其他一啲整合嘅療法咁啦。咁但係佢發現一樣嘢就係，無論佢做邊個療法都好咧，佢都係好似擺脫唔到佢個驚啊！佢每朝早一起身嘅時候咧，佢就會第一個諗起嘅咧就係 cancer。
都好大嘅一個虐待嚟，我覺得係一個虐待，一個折磨嚟嚇。係啊，即係你每朝早起身，你就要第一樣嘢要記起呢一樣嘢。
係啊，好似係要即係
你唔係記得去刷牙，你記得要一起身就係我有 cancer。即係一件好慘嘅一件事嚟。我相信即係可能喺電腦旁邊聽緊呢個節目，有啲人曾經患過癌症嘅人，可能佢哋都同意嘅。即係一瞓醒覺第一件事諗下，哎呀死啦！我有 cancer， 我幾時會好翻呢？或者點樣呢？好唔好得翻呢？即係
或者可能幾時會死
？This kind of questions keep on floating in your mind。咁跟住點樣呢？
咁跟住 so I tried all kinds of alternative therapy. The one thing that worked for me out of all is that I flew to India.And I met with a Ayurvedic doctor, and the Ayurvedic doctor told me to forget I have cancer.
係啦，咁跟住Anita 就飛咗去印度啦。咁去到印度嘅時候，佢見到一個治療師啦。嗰個治療師係印度嘅Ayurveda Chinese 係即係印度嗰邊嘅一啲療法嚟嘅，係啦。咁其中一個名
係一種精神嘅療法，定係真係一種好 physical 嘅
like 精神嘅 It's like traditional Chinese medicine, but the Indian version
with the herbs
and with yoga, but mainly with the herbs and things.
係啦，
但係就要佢忘記咗你又
係啦，咁叫佢係完全去諗自己係冇 cancer 呢一樣嘢，係啦。
He said that that cancer is let me just see how he explained it. He said you have an imbalance in your body. Every illness is just an imbalance of the body. So let's forget you have the cancer and let's focus on balancing your body.
係啦，咁嗰個即係嗰個治療師就同佢講啦，佢話所有 cancer 咧都係因為身體係有唔平衡，咁所以佢同佢講咧，叫佢忘記咗嗰個cancer 啦，只係 focus 佢嘅身體係唔平衡嘅啫。
但係嗱，我知道即係佢所謂嗰個 imbalance 啦，咁佢即係一路即係都係靠嗰啲 herbs 去幫你 balance 翻你嘅身體，其實幾似中醫嗰個，即係正式中醫啊！我講緊，即係唔係有啲即係西方醫療嗰個架構、個思想模式嘅中醫。我講緊正式嘅中醫就係講緊五行啊嘛，即係身體嘅平衡。at the same time， 即係呢個印度嘅意思都係用緊一個咁樣嘅方法。
係啊 ，but also he was encouraging me to to forget, to not think about the cancer as something that will kill me, just to focus on just balancing my body. And I found that I was feeling much, much better. So I stayed there for 6 months, and I was really feeling good and looking better, feeling better. And then I came back to Hong Kong after that.
嗰陣時係幾時啊？大約
嗰陣時大約2003年。
03年
03 around end of 03年。
OK，即係差唔多03年尾就 Anita 翻嚟香港啦，即係佢喺嗰度留咗6個月都。即係應該係好舒服啦個感覺，
好開心，
好開心。
係啊，咁我講翻少少，佢頭先就係講咧2003年嘅時候啦。咁佢就因為佢嗰個治療師就同佢講，叫佢即係忘記咗嗰個 cancer 係會即係 kill， 即係會殺死佢咁樣樣啦。咁所以咧佢就用嗰邊嘅療法去幫自己啦。咁佢每一日咧，佢都覺得好咗好多啊。咁所以喺嗰度佢 stay 咗6個月啦。咁佢自己覺得係身體越嚟越好啦。佢個樣亦都係越嚟越好嘅。
但係 during 呢個時間你就冇做嗰啲即係傳統即係西醫嗰啲咩化療啊嗰啲嘅
？Not at all. And that doctor said, don't do any other thing. Don't 即係冇 mix. 冇 mix. Yeah, 冇 mix or combine because it will interfere with the process.
Okay.
And it was like I had to get up in the morning and do yoga and 好多嘢，but我好開心at that time doing these things because every morning I wake up and I'm thinking of the yoga, I'm thinking of the all the different things, not thinking of cancer.
你係咪當時完全係忘記咗你有 cancer 嘅？
係啊，
嗰下
係啊，because he gave me so much hope.
係啦，咁佢就係話咧喺嗰度嘅時候啦，咁佢就即係冇做任何嘅嘢啦。咁佢醫生亦都應該話佢嗰個治療師啦，同佢講就係話叫佢唔好做其他嘅療法啦，淨係 focus 係呢一樣嘢，即係每日做瑜伽啊等等等等啊咁。咁叫佢唔好再 mix， 千祈唔好 mix 或者係唔好混合埋其他嘅療法一齊，係啦。咁所以咧佢翻到嚟香港嘅時候，佢自己都一路做瑜伽啊，佢每一日都好開心。咁因為點解咧？係嗰個治療師令到佢淨係 focus 注意喺嗰個瑜伽同埋佢嗰個療法裏面，所以佢每一日都好開心。
咁跟住點咧？但係好似去到2003年就經歷呢啲，即係一個咁樣幾好嘅一個希望啦嚇。咁但係好似去到05年突然間又急轉直下，咁係咪咧
？So what happened is that after I came back to Hong Kong, then a lot of people were asking me, what happened? You're looking much better. So when I tell them, how typical Hong Kong people would tell me,
no, don't believe that.
Don't believe exactly.
假嘅，你自己呃自己，
自己呃自己。有冇去化療啦？你要去化療，你要去 check, do the scan, go. Have you been to the check? These things are 假嘅， and on and on. And also they tell me, your friend died, your brother-in-law died from cancer, so you must you must do something. You can't just leave it like that. I said, but they died, but they had chemotherapy and they died.
You need to do something is to get a tape, seal them off. 即係佢哋翻到嚟就不斷喺度破壞緊你嘅希望。
係啊，咁係啊，佢翻到嚟咁佢啲其實佢好開心啦。咁但係翻到嚟之後，佢啲朋友就問佢點解你發生咩事？點解你會好似即係又健康咗啊、靚咗咁？咁佢話俾啲朋友聽嘅時候，佢啲朋友就同佢講 呢啲唔係真嘅，呢啲係假嘅，即係你唔好相信。點解呢？個真相就係因為你係真係有朋友死咗，因為 cancer 而死咗咁。咁但係 even Anita 話，咁但係佢哋係因為化療死嘅喎。咁但係嗰啲人都話俾佢聽，你之前做嘅嘢係假嘅。咁
Okay.
And you have to. They said you have to go for the scan in the hospital
to confirm.
To confirm, and I said, but my doctor in India said. No need. You're healthy. It's fine. Don't focus on the cancer. They said, no. You can't believe them because look, you've lost your friends. You don't want to go in the same direction as your friend. But I said, but you are telling me to go in the same direction.
They don't
by
understand.
Going to, but they don't understand. Everybody thinks the only way to cure cancer is by conventional chemo and
whatever.
係啦，咁佢就係講啦，即係佢啲朋友都叫同佢講話，你一定要去即係去 scan 啦，即係去睇下你身體有冇事啦，去即係西醫度 check 啊咁樣啦，咁跟住叫佢去睇下同埋 confirm 係咪真係冇事咁。咁但係其實佢嗰個印度嗰個醫師就同佢講話，其實唔需要，你身體真係好健康，唔好 focus 喺個 cancer 度。咁但係即係佢啲朋友都話俾佢聽，唔係咧，你真係要去睇下，即係因為你身邊都有朋友死，佢哋都係因為 cancer 死，你最好去即係去睇下，去 check 下啦。咁樣
呢啲係咪仲係你朋友嘅而家？You still keeping those friends?
I lost a lot of friends.
OK， 嗱呢啲叫做咩？呢啲叫做好心做壞事嗱，我講俾你聽。OK，maybe not a good question. Maybe not a good way to answer. Anyway， 唔緊要，咁我哋繼續落去啦。咁 OK， 咁當然啦，佢都提翻你，即係話啊，你係有 cancer， 即係同原本嗰個醫師俾你嘅 treatment 係完全兩樣嘢啦，一個 opposite 啦，即係佢叫你忘記，但係翻到嚟就不停有人同你講你有嘅，要你注意翻嘅咁。咁即係 destroy 緊成個 treatment 嘅喎，其實
係啊。So the whole treatment from India was destroyed, and again, I used to wake up every day with the fear of the cancer.
Okay. Again.
And then my body just got worse and worse, and then by the time I went to the doctor, and I said that, okay, doesn't matter. Give me the treatment. Give me the chemo. The doctor said. So
you're actually giving up the.
I gave up.
You gave up the treatment from India.
Because I felt that generally in developed countries like Hong Kong or all Western countries, there is not enough support if you want to do anything that's different from conventional. And one of the biggest things, if you are dealing with something that you are afraid of, you need support.
I see.
Yeah.
係啦，咁啊 Anita 就係講啦，即係佢當佢聽到嘅時候，咁佢發現佢自己將印度裡面所有做過嘅嘢咧，就全部已經係毀滅晒啦，即係冇再去 focus 嗰樣嘢啦。咁然後咧就佢反而 focus 翻咧佢自己嘅 cancer 啦，同埋嗰個恐懼裡面啦。咁所以咧，因為咁樣嘅時候，佢身體咧又直線下落啦嚇。咁跟住佢就自己即係去翻醫生嗰度就同佢講，咁你想做即係你想點就點啦，即係好似放棄咗咁樣樣啦。咁佢發現一樣嘢咧，就係香港咧，或者係一啲發展緊嘅國家咧，係好多嘅即係好多嘅方法係冇去 support， 即係冇去支持一啲嘅點樣講咧，一啲嘅整全嘅治療法咯。
OK， 去到你繼續翻嗰個傳統嘅療法啦，因為即係冇乜協助到啦，香港政府。即係香港嘅醫療體制都未必協助到你嗰種另外一種嘅治療方式。咁跟住點樣呢？
咁by then, actually, my health started to really get worse. By then, the cancer had spread from my neck all around my neck, down under my arms, my chest, all the way to the abdomen, throughout the lymphatic system. I had tumors, some of the tumors as big as lemons.
係啦，咁佢就係講咧，跟住佢嘅身體咧就直線下落啦，跟住然之後咧，佢嗰個 cancer 咧就由佢嘅頸啦，再去到佢嘅胸口啦，佢一路落到去全身啦，直至去到佢成個免疫系統嘅。
And also I had open skin lesions where the toxins were coming out of my skin, so big open wounds in my skin, and also all my muscles deteriorated. I couldn't walk anymore. I was in a wheelchair, and my lungs were filled with fluid, so I was on an oxygen machine.
That's really bad.
係啊，跟住係啦，咁佢就講到話佢嘅皮膚啦，亦都係即係有一啲水，即係啲毒嘅水滲出嚟啦，跟住佢然之後。仲有啲咩？跟住就係佢嘅透唔到氣啦，佢嘅個肺積水啦，係啦，咁所以佢就有個儀器喺令到佢可以呼吸咁樣咯。
And by about December 2005, the doctor said to my husband that I only have about 3 months to live.
跟住到2005年嘅12月啦，咁醫生都同佢嘅老公就係講話佢得返3個月嘅啫。
But in February, I already went into a coma. February 1st, I went into a
即係去到6月06年嘅2月，
係啦，2月1號嘅時候咧，佢就昏迷咗啦，
已經昏迷咗啦。With your 即係當時你嘅身體仍然都係。潰爛啊，唔行得啊，唞唔到氣，咁嗰陣時就昏迷嘅。
係啊，係啊 ，and the doctor said my organs had shut down now. The kidneys were not working anymore.
係啦，咁佢當其時個醫生就係講話佢所有嘅器官已經係即係冇個功能唔 work 啦，咁同埋佢個腎亦都係好差。
And they said that that I would not come out of the coma. That
But before the coma, you know you are going to die.Yeah,
I had given up.
Okay.
Yeah.
係啦，即係昏迷之前，其實 Anita 已經係放棄咗啦。咁醫生都講話，當佢昏迷之後，亦都唔會再起翻身，
唔會再醒翻㗎啦。OK， 咁你嘅丈夫一定係傷心啦，或者你身邊嘅朋友都係好傷心啦。
Yeah, my mother, my brother, my husband was by my bedside the whole time, just watching all the dials.
OK。
係啦，咁佢即係佢媽媽啦，佢嘅老公啦，佢側邊都即係都係好傷心啦。咁同埋即係佢嘅老公喺側邊不停喺度望緊佢嗰個watching the
個 monitor，
係啦，即係睇住個 mon 係啦，
係啊。
OK， 即係基本上連醫生都會覺得係冇得醫啦，即係最後末期啦。嗰陣時就係。嗱，即係重複多一次啦，02年啦，咁就係證實咗個 cancer 啦，咁亦都中間有段時間去咗印度嗰度啦，咁就好係有好轉嘅，咁但係翻到嚟不斷有人提醒佢有 cancer，好心做壞事嘅情況之下咧，05年嘅12月咧就入咗醫院啦，咁然之後咧就亦都即係醫生都診斷得翻3個月命，咁而06年嘅2月1號咧就已經進入昏迷狀態，咁醫生亦都診斷咗 Anita 昏迷之後咧係唔會再翻嚟，即係唔會再醒噶啦。咁樣，咁2月1號就發生呢件事，但係而家聽眾朋友、觀眾朋友就見到你活生生、實實在在咁坐喺度傾緊偈，咁究竟你去到2月1號你昏迷咗之後，跟住發生咩事呢？2月1號昏迷之後，2月2號 Anita 就醒翻，係咪啊
？Yeah, actually 2月3號醒翻。2
月3號。
And while I was in the coma, I understood many things, including why I had the cancer.
OK， 逐樣嚟。2月1號昏迷，2月2號昏迷咗，即係身體對啲機能、啲器官開始停頓啦。但係2月3號你醒翻，
係啦，
你係 just woke up like。In the morning， 即係瞓醒覺咁醒咗定係點樣？
Around in the afternoon, I started opening my eyes, and then my family was very, very surprised, but the doctor said, "Oh, be cautious. She's still very, very sick. Just because I open my eyes doesn't mean I'm going to get better."
即係中國人講嘅 有啲中國人會講噶嘛，即係當一個人就嚟會離開嘅時候咧，就會有樣嘢叫做嗰啲叫咩？回光返照係啦，即係話突然間醒翻，好似乜事都冇。你係醒翻係好似乜事都冇咁樣嘅，係好似好精神咁樣嘅。
唔係啊 ，still very weak, very very weak. I was 85 pounds at that time. The muscles had all gone. So whole weak with all the tubes and still breathing with the oxygen.But my eyes had open.
係啦，咁 Anita 話即係2月3號嘅時候，晏晝嘅時候咧，咁佢就擘大咗隻眼啦，咁佢屋企人都覺得好驚奇啦，點解會擘大眼？跟住佢醫生都話：你小心，即係仲要注意啲，因為佢啱啱醒翻，要再觀察下咁樣。咁但係其實佢嗰時得85磅嚇，咁仲係好瘦啦，咁仲係插住管咁，但係已經醒翻啦。
當時個醫生，我想問，當時醫生見到你擘大眼，其實都係當你會就嚟死啊，定係當你係好緊啦，定係當你係一個 miracle 啊，定係點樣嘅咧？
當時he had no expectation， 即係唔諗
到你會醒翻，
唔諗到我會醒翻 ，but at that time。he did not raise his hope that I will be well, but just to be fair, 個醫生 was 好好，即係個人真係好好啊，好 empathetic， 好人啊 ，and he just即係 he was smiling and he said, oh, like sort of like welcome back， 即係好似好開心啊。So he was 好 nice 啊個醫生。佢係咪
一翻到 office 即刻喺度抄書睇？點解會咁嘅？點會咁樣？
發生咩事？
好，我哋休息一陣，俾 Anita 同阿 Shirley 唞一唞。我哋轉頭翻嚟，究竟講緊佢喺昏迷嘅時候見到啲乜嘢，令到而家佢可以健健康康坐喺度。轉頭翻嚟繼續 MJ13。好啦，翻嚟第二節嘅 MJ13， 咁啊繼續有Anita Moorjani 同埋阿 Shirley 喺度嘅，咁啊就講過啦 ，Anita 就係呢本書啦 ，Dying to be me 嘅作者啦，咁就正話講咗喺佢之前啊，02年到06年中間呢4年入邊經歷咗一個診斷咗有癌症啦，跟住去到昏迷咗啦，醫生都診斷係即係冇啦，即係昏迷完就唔會醒翻。啊！點知突然間咧，第二日咧個醫生突然間2日之後咧，突然間個醫生都呆一呆啦，就係突然間佢擘大眼隻眼醒翻。咁跟住點咧？你醒翻，其實你醒翻之後喺現實生活入邊，你醒翻之後跟住點咧？發生咩事咧
？Okay, so after I wake up here, then of course my family was so happy. They were so happy, and then the doctors, he was very very nice, and he told my family that even though she's waken up, please be cautious because she is still very very sick, very very weak.
係啦，咁Anita就話雖然佢醒咗啦，咁佢見到佢屋企人都好開心啦，咁但係個醫生都即係其實醫生好好人嘅，咁就同佢屋企人講話，雖然即係佢啱啱醒咗，咁但係我哋都要即係注意下，因為佢身體仲係好弱咯。
醫生係話你醒咗要注意下，即係佢係當你係好翻緊啦，定係當你醒一醒可能都會係好危險，即係隨時都係會再走咁樣。
Yes， 好危險啊！
即係佢唔係話你醒翻，大家唔好開心住，即係話俾你聽，即係其實個身體係好弱嘅。咁 OK， 都仍然係叫屋企人有心理準備啊嗰類咁樣。
係啊，係啊。They were still not sure that I was going to live. I was still so weak.
OK，
係啊，即係佢哋都醫生都係唔肯定咯，咁所以因為佢身體好弱，所以醫生都會即係叫佢哋仲要睇住先，睇定啲先咁樣。係啦
，OK， 咁但係咧，實質上咧就開始好緊。
係啊 ，so I told my family that I know I'm going to be okay. Something happened when I was in the coma, I know I'm going to be okay。OK，
係啦，咁 Anita 就係話佢同屋企人講，佢話我知道我係會冇事嘅，因為有啲嘢發生咗喺我嗰個昏迷裏面，有啲嘢發生咗啦，所以我知道我係身體係冇事嘅。
OK， 放低你個身體點樣先嚇？喺你昏迷嘅入邊發生咩事？
Okay, so first of all, when I was in the coma, even though I was in the coma, my eyes were closed, I could see and hear and feel everything that was happening, everything the doctors were doing, everything everybody was saying.
咁Anita 話，雖然即係佢合埋咗眼啦，喺佢個昏迷嘅時候，但係其實咧，佢係所有圍繞住佢嘅嘢，佢都知嘅。佢可以聽到啦，佢可以睇到啦，同埋佢可以感覺得到。even 個醫生點樣講，佢都會聽到。
And even things that were outside the room, like the doctor telling my husband that that these are my final hours and I'm not coming out of the coma. I found out later the doctor told that to my husband outside the room, not in the room where I was. But I saw them, I heard them.
You heard them talking outside the room?
Yeah, and I saw them saying it to the doctor saying it.
Did you curse when you close your eyes? Curse to the doctor. I hear what you say. 我聽到晒你講嘅嘢，你唔好講我壞話。
係啦，係呢頭話，當佢昏迷嘅時候，其實佢係喺另外個空間係見到嗰個醫生咧喺門喺個房出邊咧，同佢嗰個老公講啦，佢Anita 而家係即係最尾嘅幾個鐘頭嘅啫，咁樣即係喺最尾個階段咁樣。咁但係其實佢係見到晒個醫同埋聽到晒醫生講啲乜。
我當時你見到嘅時候個感覺嗱，嘗試即係我哋聽過好多人有一啲叫做 near death experience，即係瀕死經驗啦。咁當然我哋聽好多人啦，咁但係聽過一兩個人講過呢啲咁嘅過程。但係當時你嘅感覺，或者你可唔可以具體地形容到你當時見到或者你聽到嘅時候嗰種感覺係點嘅？係好模糊啊，定係好似睇緊電視咁啊？定係真係好似親身企咗喺佢哋側邊嗰度聽緊佢哋講嘢嘅
？Actually, it's quite complicated because there's no eyes, so I'm not looking from the eyes. But it's like I could be everywhere. You know, when we are in a body, we are physically only in one place. And if you want to go there, you have to walk there. When there's no body, it's like I can be everywhere at the same time.
So, 你嗱解釋少少俾聽眾聽先。
係啦，咁Anita就係話咧，雖然即係佢喺身體以外嘅時候啦，咁其實咧佢覺得佢可以係喺每一個唔同嘅角落，因為佢話咧，當我哋有身體嘅時候啦，好似話我見到前面有條路我要行過去，但係當佢出咗身體嘅時候咧，喺另外空間佢覺得佢已經係可以係唔同一個地方，已經成為唔同一個角落，唔同一個地方。
Is it something like 你留喺呢一個地方，你要去嗰度，你係諗就去咗啊？係啊，定係你喺呢度都可以諗到喺嗰度睇到嘅嘢，定係點咧
？It's like you are not stuck in one place. It's like you said, wherever you put your awareness, you will be there in an instant. No time passes.
Just poops and go
it's
there.
It's like in an instant, immediately. And you can see everything around you, not just what's in front of you. Whether it's behind, down, up, whether it's in another country. My brother was on a plane from India coming to Hong Kong. I put my awareness on my brother.
You saw
and I could
him?
see him. And I was aware that I cannot die until he comes because he would be very upset. I had to wait for him.
係啦，咁Anita 就係講話，當佢喺嗰個狀態嘅時候咧，佢覺得咧佢係喺即係每一個角落佢都可以去到。點樣去到咧？就係因為佢有一個覺知 awareness， 有個覺知。當佢 aware 到有個覺知我要去嗰個地方嘅時候咧，佢已經係去咗嗰個地方。就好似佢知道佢嘅細佬係咪弟弟哥哥係啦 ，sorry， 佢哥哥咧就喺印度嗰度過嚟啦。咁佢一諗起佢有個覺知，諗起佢哥哥咧，佢已經睇到佢哥哥咧係趕住翻嚟啊。咁所以佢知道咧佢係唔可以死，佢要等埋佢哥哥，因為佢知道佢哥哥係翻緊嚟。
你當時去 嘗試去感覺你個哥哥嘅時候咧，你係即刻去咗個飛機嗰度睇到你哥哥坐喺度。
係啊，即刻。
咁你當時見到你哥哥做緊啲咩？有冇當時之後去 confirm 翻你睇緊本咩雜誌，或者你當時係想做緊用緊部電腦定係乜嘢咁樣
？Well, he was very upset because he knew I was dying. But when I came out of the coma, he was there, standing there, with his suitcase behind him because he came straight from the airport to the hospital. So he was right there.
係啦，咁佢就話，當佢醒翻嘅時候咧，佢因為得佢哥哥好唔開心啦，即係知道佢就嚟死，就趕翻嚟。所以當佢一醒嘅時候咧，就見到佢哥哥咧就已經喺個房裏面啦，咁同埋有即係有埋佢嘅行李篋咁樣咯。所以佢哥哥係的而且確係趕緊翻嚟。
OK， 你多 sorry 問多一個好技術性嘅問題啦，即係一難得有個人死咗翻嚟。好難得噶嘛，係咪？即係死咗唔翻嚟嘅，我哋身邊成日都有。死咗翻嚟好難得，咁啊有個咁嘅機會，好想問多少少。即係當時你喺，即係當然你唔係死咗，你昏迷咗啦。但係你當時去睇到嘅時候，你睇到嘅嘢係 physically 嘅呢一個 world 嘅嘢啊，定係睇到係佢哋嘅？我唔識點形容，即係一個 energy， 即係你睇到佢飛機，真係睇到佢係坐緊飛機。係啊。係啦，就唔係話睇到佢個 consciousness， 即係個意識咁樣，唔係嘅，係正式睇到佢實質嘅身體咁樣。
係啊，睇到佢 physically 睇到佢 ，it's all this world， but also I was aware of something more。即係I was aware of my father who had already passed away 10 years before. So I was aware that he was there.
You feel him?
I felt him, and yes.
係啦，咁Anita 就係講話，佢不單止睇到啲實物啦，佢仲覺知到咧，佢10年前死咗個爸爸，亦都同一時間喺度。係即係當佢有 aware 一有覺知嘅時候，佢見到佢爸爸。
And so even everything that was happening in the hospital, for example, later when I woke up and I said to my husband that, isn't that the doctor that said I was, that I would not make it through the night, that I was going to die? My husband said, how did you hear that? We didn't say that here in the room. He said that outside the room. So things like that, I knew everything that had happened.
係啊，咁Anita 話其實佢之後咧，佢醒翻都有求證過嘅，即係佢問老公：咦，你係咪即係醫生同你講過話我過唔到今晚啊？咁跟住佢老公話：你點知㗎？我哋即係冇諗住喺個房裡面講俾你聽㗎喎。咁跟住Anita 話：係啊，其實我係知道晒咯。
And many other things, like one of the nurses couldn't find my vein when he was a male nurse. He was trying to put the tube into my vein and he couldn't find the vein, and then he was saying something like, her veins have all retracted, they're gone, I can't find the vein. So later I even told them that, that's the voice, that guy, he said that.
係啦 ，even 佢有一個護士
男，即刻佢唔知仲講咗幾多嘢，係唔應該講，但係俾你聽到晒。係啊，個男護係啦，即係 Anita 話，即係個男護士長啦，就係幫佢即係想揾佢嗰個動物啦嘅即係幫佢注射動物，咁但係咧又揾唔到啦。佢話：哎呀可能佢即係身體已經係好咩，連個動物都冇咗啊，睇唔到咁樣。跟住 Anita 之後即係醒翻就話：呢一個人個把聲就係當其時係幫我揾動物即係嗰個男護士長嚟嘅咁樣。嚇到佢，如果佢即係當時嗰個護士長都知道你聽到佢講嘢嘅。係啊
，but he was so sorry. He came in, he said, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry."
嗱，即係又再話俾所有喺醫院度做事嘅聽眾聽下，唔好亂講嘢，因為你唔知幾時係真係聽到嘅，係 OK 係咁當時就好 surprise 啦 ，everybody surprised。But
yes, but when I was in the other side, I understood what caused my cancer。
究竟係乜嘢咧？即係你另外一方面，你係知道點解你會有 cancer。係啊。咁究竟係咩原因？
咁咧 it's actually many things, but if I make it simple, one word is fear.
恐懼
係啦 ，Anita 其實佢講咧，其實佢喺另外一個空間嘅時候咧，佢意會得到究竟乜嘢係令到佢有 cancer 啦。跟住咧，佢頭先就講咧，當我哋就係講用好簡單一個字，就係個恐懼係令到佢有 cancer。
I realized that I had lived my whole life out of fear of everything, like fear of failing, fear of not being good enough.And fear of meeting other people's expectations, and finally fear of cancer, big fear of cancer.
係啦，咁佢話其實佢成個生命裏面佢都係生活喺個恐懼裏面啦，咁佢會驚失敗啦，又會驚人哋唔知點樣睇佢啦，跟住亦都會驚咧佢cancer 呢一樣嘢，基本上佢係乜嘢都驚嘅嗰陣時。
Yeah, and I understood that that in life we seem to do everything out of fear, like even we worry about money, we choose jobs because we fear not having enough money. And that's why I understood that every decision I had made in my life up to that point was out of fear. And I knew that we are not supposed to live this way.I
see.
And I understood that we are actually much more powerful and stronger than we believe we are. And I understood that now that I knew this, if I came back, my body would heal.
係啦，咁佢喺嗰個狀態嘅時候咧，佢就意會得到啦。佢之前咧，佢乜嘢都驚啦，跟住又會驚佢冇錢啦，咁所以咧，即係我哋做嘅工啦，都係因為想要多啲錢啦。咁所有嘢都係恐懼啦嚇。咁而當佢喺嗰個狀態嘅時候，佢就即係意會到呢一樣嘢嘅時候咧，咁佢知道佢翻嚟就會
即係會好翻，
會好翻，係啦，
係啦，係啦。你當時我問多少少個情況係，你點樣可以意會到你係因為恐懼而有 cancer？ 係喺 coma 入邊係有聲音同你講啊，定係你自己去感受啊？定係真係我好似瞓緊覺發夢，有個人突然間好似 Yoda 咁走出嚟，跟住Fear is the power of the dark side 咁樣，即係點樣有呢啲咁樣嘅點樣有呢啲咁樣嘅能力出現？點解會有呢啲咁樣嘅感覺出現？係會令到你知道因為恐懼而出現個癌症。
Okay, imagine this. Imagine that you are living your life in fear. 你日日起身好驚啊 like scared about the cancer, like I described to you. But your whole life is stressful, right? But one day, imagine you wake up and you realize the whole thing was a dream. Dying feels like you woke up from the dream.
係啦 Anita 就係講話，即係你可以聯想一下，我哋每一日都係生活喺恐懼啦，同埋壓力啦。咁但係咧，突然之間有一日，你就瞓醒咗。瞓醒咗之後咧，你就發覺原來嗰啲壓力同埋啲恐懼咧係一個夢嚟嘅。咁佢話佢個經驗咧，或者死亡啦，就好似由一個夢嗰度咧，係突然間醒翻咁。
So it's not like Yoda or somebody comes to tell you, but it's like you wake up.And you can see life in a very, very different way. 係咪我嘗試形容啦？因為當然係抽象。我嘗試形容簡單啲俾聽眾去聽，就係你諗嚟諗去都唔知點樣煲呢個湯，係突然間我諗到啦，即係咪 something like suddenly you know okay， 因為個 fear， 所以我有 cancer， 係咪係 something like this or something？即係有啲嘢 inspire 咗你喺個夢入邊，令到你。It's even more than that. It's like, it's almost like, oh my God, the life was not real. Everything was a lie. It was not real. It's exactly like when you wake up in the morning after a very, very scary dream. Okay. When you realize that, oh, that was not real. That was a dream. It's like realizing that what we think is real, this, now, you, me, sitting here.
簡單啲講，即係好似我哋發緊惡夢嘅時候，驚到不得了，有隻恐龍喺邊追緊你，係啦，係咪先？死梗啦，係啊，因為你發緊夢啊嘛，係。但係突然間嗰日醒咗，哦，咦，原來發惡夢嘅，係啦。而家就係突然間醒咗就發覺，原來所有嘅嘢都係即係你自己發夢咁樣嘅，
係啊，So the fear is not real. We are creating a life of fear, but it's not really there. And when I was in the other side, the fear was gone, completely gone.
So you can come back without fear, because and now, bring back the feeling from the coma,
yes,
from the other side, 即係另外一邊將你嘅感覺帶咗過嚟，係啊，咁就而家就可以毫無恐懼咁樣去生活落。
係啊 ，but the thing is, the other side was so amazing, like being in the coma， 即係嗰個 feeling 個感覺 was so amazing. I didn't want to come back.
係啦，咁 Anita 話因為喺佢昏迷嘅時候咧，喺另外一個空間個感覺係非常非常之好啊，令到其實佢原本係唔想翻嚟嘅。
So如果你當時選擇唔翻嚟咧，咁你就可能唔會翻嚟啦。
I won't be sitting here
就已經係走咗啦。
走咗啦。
Okay， 咁 what made you come back?
That's when my father came to me.And he told me,
but your father 即係已經死咗
10 years
10年前已經唔係即係過身啦。
係啊 My father said, it's not your time, you should go back. And I said, but my body is so sick. I'm suffering, my family is suffering, taking care of me. I don't want to go back to that body. And then that's when I realized, and you know, in that side, it's very difficult because we are not physical beings. So I don't know if my father made me realize or I realize that now that I know what I know, if I go back, I won't have the cancer anymore because now I understand why I got the cancer.
但係當時你就有呢種感覺。
係啊，
係啦。咁跟住即係喺空埋嘅時候啦，佢爸爸就同佢講啦，佢話其實你嘅時間未到，你可以翻去嘅。咁當然佢可以選擇走或者翻嚟啦。咁但係佢即係佢就同佢爸爸講，咁我見到我 body 咁即係有插晒管啦，咁我即係點樣可以翻嚟咧？咁但係咧佢深刻唔知點解係爸爸俾咗佢個 inspiration 啦，定係佢自己突然間 get 到一樣嘢咧，就係知道如果佢真係翻嚟身體嘅話咧，佢個 cancer 係會好翻嘅。
呢個係好難去相信嘅一件事嚟噶嘛，即係嗱，當然第一喺你昏迷咗，你見到你爸爸過身嘅爸爸，呢個對於好多人嚟講都係，嘿，你諗多咗啦，或者係即係科學嘅解釋就係你發夢或者你係臨離開之前，你個腦電波幫你 create 咗好多嘅 illusion 出嚟啊，即係啲幻覺出嚟，令到你以為你見到你爸爸，咁但係亦都解釋唔到點解你可以聽到嗰啲人喺度靜雞雞講你背後啲嘢啦。咁但係件事係你當時你知道你翻到嚟咧，你個 cancer 就會慢慢咁退啦，慢慢會好翻。呢個係更加難去相信，但係當時你喺昏迷嘅狀態入邊，你係完全相信接受到呢樣嘢嘅。
係啊 I knew 即係in English, the way that I say it is that now that I understood the truth of who I really am, I knew that the cancer would heal.
咁佢話喺英文嗰個講法就係話喺而家呢一刻，我係終於知道我自己係邊一個。咁所以佢知道佢嘅身體係會好翻，個 cancer 係會療愈嘅。
你有冇一種感覺係覺得？其實你自己同呢個身體係完全係可以完全分開脫離去睇嘅，即係我自己就係我啦。呢個身體只係一個好似一個衣服咁樣嘅，有冇一種咁嘅感覺
？Yes, exactly. It's like the body is not me. And so, for example, the person who I was before.即係好always scared, always fearful. That is the person that had the cancer. The person who came back is a very different person.
without fear.
Without
that is
fear.
the real you.
That is the real me.
Okay.
We are not supposed to have fear, but life teaches us fear. But we're not supposed to.
係啦，即係佢意思係，好似有啲人係好似又係點樣啊？即係死過翻生之後，完全變咗另外一個人咁樣。咁個現象就係似佢翻咗嚟之後，嗰個先係自己咯，即係之前都唔係嘅。係啦。
Is that all the experience you've been through during coma？ 即係有冇第二啲更加即係難以置信，或者你經歷咗嘅嘢喺你昏迷嘅狀態裏邊
？You mean what else did I go through in the coma? Well, basically, I reached the point where I then realized that I can't go beyond this point. If I go beyond this point, I won't come back. Then I can't turn back. So at that point, I had to make the decision whether to come back or not come back. And that was when I actually felt my father say to me that now that you know the truth of who you really are, the only thing you have to do is go back and live your life fearlessly. And that's all you have to do. Everything else will take care of itself.
OK，
係啦，咁佢就話喺嗰個狀態嘅時候，其實佢係可以選擇離開啦，或者可以選擇翻嚟。就喺嗰刻嘅時候呢，佢爸爸就同佢講話：而家你知道你真正嘅你係邊一個啦，你可以翻落去做翻真正嘅你，而冇任何嘅恐懼嘅。
That's amazing 啊 ，amazing story。咁你去到嗰刻，即係嗱，當然啦，我哋而家好難，即係電腦旁邊嘅朋友都係啦，即係好難去 imagine 到當時你嘅經歷嘅情況。但係你我諗嘗試解釋，即係聽眾可能去幻想下，就係你去到一個位，去到一條路，咁當你行過咗呢條路咧，你就翻唔到去啦。但係咧，即係我形容，當然實質上你感覺到未必係一條路嘅。咁但係去到嗰個位就係話，你總之再行咧，你就翻唔到轉頭。你而家就要作一個決定啦，即係話決定我翻返去啊，定係我決定我要即係繼續即係呢一個即係離開呢一個身體啦，一個咁嘅身體。咁你當時就係你爸爸話你未夠鐘，所以你就決定翻返去。
係啊 ，and also because as I said, Gopin, it was really nice, really amazing, like a feeling of being surrounded by unconditional love. But the other thing I felt when Papa, when he said that it's not your time, I felt that I still had things to do here, which I have not finished yet. And I felt that even my husband's purpose was not finished if I leave early, that we still had things to do. And so that's also what made me come back.
係啦，咁Anita 就係講話另外一樣嘢點解會令到佢想翻嚟呢？就係因為佢知道呢，喺嗰個空間嘅時候呢，佢知道其實佢仲有嘢未做完。咁同一時間佢見到佢丈夫啦，咁佢都知道呢，佢同丈夫呢其實仲有好多嘢要去即係要去做啦，有好多嘢都未做完啦。咁呢個都係其中一個原因令到佢係翻嚟嘅。
嗰種感覺係咪好似你臨出門口，跟住但係覺得我係帶漏咗啲嘢，但係我係諗嚟諗去都諗唔到係乜嘢，所以決定唔出門口住，都係留翻屋企睇多陣先，係咪有啲類似咁樣嘅感覺
？Something like that, but I didn't know what it is that I have to do.
Yeah, just the same thing.
Yeah,
我唔記得咗帶本書翻公司，今日要帶翻公司嘅。係啊，咁但係就係拎漏咗啲嘢，就係拎咗啲咩咧？企咗喺門口度5分鐘都未出到門口，就係諗咗好耐，究竟我拎漏咗啲咩咧？咁我就決定出門口啊，定係留翻喺屋入邊繼續揾唔記得咗啲乜嘢？咁而 Anita 就決定好啦，我翻嚟，因為我發覺我翻嚟先知我係有啲咩未做，係咪？
係啊 ，and so basically, what I learned was that I don't have to know what it is. 即係我唔使知道 I don't have to know what it is I still have to do. But the most important thing that I learned was that my whole life I had never loved myself. That was the big key. And so I learned that in order to stop feeling fear, the most important lesson is you have to love yourself. And I realized that's all I have to do. When I go back into my body, all I have to do is love myself, and everything else would be taken care of.
係啦，咁Anita話喺嗰個境界嘅時候呢，其實雖然佢覺得有啲嘢未做完啦，但係佢知道其實根本佢唔需要去諗究竟係啲乜嘢嘢。咁而佢喺嗰陣時，佢就 aware 一樣嘢呢，就係佢發現佢一路都係冇真正去愛自己。咁所以當佢決定翻落嚟嘅時候，佢知道佢要做嘅嘢呢，就係去完完全全去愛佢自己啦。咁而當佢翻落嚟嘅時候呢，佢要做嘅嘢係每一刻都係愛自己嘅時候呢，所有嘅嘢呢都會係被照顧，即係點樣？即係條路已經安排好晒㗎啦，係啦。
OK， 嗱，我哋休息一陣，但係休息之前，即係我要講，如果我係經歷Anita 咁樣嘅嘢咧，我發覺我要愛自己咧，咁我而家好多唔敢食嘅嘢咧，我一醒翻第一件事就即刻
食先，
唔好驚乜嘢。
The first thing I ate was chocolate ice cream.
Exactly，
第一樣嘢啊，
係絕對
第一樣嘢 was chocolate ice cream。
原本好驚嘅，又怕肥又怕蛀牙，唔敢食。冇驚啊嘛，翻嚟第一件事就食朱古力先啦。
That's the first thing I had.
OK， 我哋轉頭翻嚟繼續 MJ13。好啦，我哋翻嚟第三節，淨係食完朱古力之後，我哋翻嚟第三節啦。咁啊，其實咪後咧，我哋講咗好多嘢嘅，大家都好開心，好興奮。但係 anyway，我哋翻嚟今次呢個題目先，咁繼續有 Anita 同埋 Shirley 喺度啦。咁啊，正話就講到啦，咁啊醒翻，因為知道咗個恐懼係令到佢有 cancer， 所以佢決定醒翻第一件事就係唔好有恐懼。咁Anita 就話醒翻第一件事就係咩啊
？I ate chocolate ice cream.
Exactly， 即刻食個朱古力雪糕先。
係啊，好 specific. I told my husband which brand and Belgian chocolate ice cream, and he had to go out and find the supermarket, buy it, and come back.
But at that time， 喺當時你先生或者你嘅家人當時仲係點諗咧？即係佢哋嗱，當然你好清楚知道。Anita 好清楚知道我醒翻啦，我冇事噶啦，我會跟住好翻噶啦。但係喺你家人係咪好難去相信？我諗 even 你嘅主診醫生都好難相信你係。
係啊 ，but actually, okay, to be more accurate, in that moment when I woke up, I was still very little bit sleepy and not able to talk much. But as the hours passed by about 24 hours.Then I wanted to sit up.
Gym.
I wanted to sit up, and I wanted them to start to take off my oxygen mask and the food tube. But at first the doctors were refusing. They said, "No, you're still very weak. We have to leave it in."
係啦，咁Anita就係講話，當佢醒咗之後咧，其實佢嘅身體都係弱嘅，咁但係去到大約24小時到啦，咁其實佢就想即係叫醫生幫佢掹開嗰個氧氣嗰樣嘢，嗰個面罩啦，係啦，咁但係醫生就話暫時都唔好，因為你身體都仲係弱咯。
And I had other tubes like a food tube, and I had things connected to my heart. But by 2 days, they were able to remove the food tube and the oxygen tank.
係啦，咁佢亦都即係有一條管係幫助佢食嘢嘅，咁係連繫住佢個身體同埋佢心啦。咁但係過咗兩日到啦，咁佢已經咧係將嗰條管啦同埋嗰個氧氣面罩咧都除低佢啦。
What is the feeling to eat chocolate ice cream through the tube?
It was no. So then when the doctor took out the tube, the doctor said, you can now try to eat solid food. And that's when I said, oh, can I eat ice cream? And the doctor laughed and said, actually, it's okay. It'll be very soothing for you because it's soft. And so I told my husband, I want Belgian chocolate ice cream.
我就問佢就係如果食朱古力雪糕用條管食朱古力雪糕嘅味道係點？咁原來唔係咁嘅。
係啦，咁當係啦，咁佢即係一除低咗之後啦，咁佢醫生就同佢講話，其實你已經可以開始食少少嘅一啲 solid food 啦嚇。咁但係佢就問醫生：咦，我可唔可以食雪糕咧？咁跟住醫生就喺度笑，跟住就話：其實都可以嘅，因為佢係流質噶嘛，咁即係其實可以食嘅。跟住佢就即刻同佢老公講：我一定要邊隻牌子嘅比利時雪糕咁樣。
What an amazing case！ 我肯定嗰個味道係好食到不得了啦，係咪？即係你以前係唔敢食嘅。
係啊，以前唔敢食啊。
而家一醒翻唔理啦，唔使驚啦。
I was so happy to be back, to be awake.
Okay.
Very, very happy. And I kept telling my family that I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. Don't worry.
係啦，咁佢翻落嚟之後，即係醒翻之後，其實佢好開心啦。咁佢就同佢屋企人講話：我係冇事嘅，你哋唔使擔心，係啦，我會好翻，係啦。
And so the doctors were taking tests, and by 4 days, in 4 days, they took like an X-ray or a scan of my body, and they found the tumors had shrunk by around 60 to 70%.
咁跟住過咗4日啦，咁醫生就幫佢再掃描佢身體啦，咁就發現佢嘅癌細胞咧係減低咗64% 度。
And the main doctor, the oncologist, he was very surprised, very happy, and he said, I don't even know what to write in your medical records.
咁個腫瘤科醫生就係即係個主要醫生就佢好開心啦，跟住佢就同阿 Anita 講話，我基本上我完全唔知道應該點樣再寫個 report 落去啦咁。
Okay.
Yeah, and he was very nice because much later I told him what I experienced in the other side. He believed me. He said that I've had patients before who have experienced such things. So he was very understanding.
係啊，咁個醫生好好啦，因為阿 Anita 有分享話俾佢聽，佢喺昏迷嘅時候嗰啲事情啦。咁個醫生話我完全明白啦，同埋可以理解，因為我以前都有即係有個。病人都係類似嘅經驗咯。
Do you 即係你係咪相信覺得佢會相信你嘅經歷，定係佢好難去作為一個醫生，佢係咪好難去相信你呢個咁嘅經歷咧
？Can you explain that to me a little bit in English?
As a doctor, is it very difficult for him to believe what you've been, what your experience during your coma period? Or?
You know what's been really interesting experience for me is that I have found that doctors have not been the doctors I have encountered have been very understanding. My own doctor, although he doesn't want to be named in public or anything, he absolutely did believe me, and he completely understood. I even said to him that thank you for being my doctor and for allowing God to work through your hands to heal me. And I said that to him because he's a very, very good doctor. But what I have found is that even as my story has become popular and been out in the books, so many doctors have written to me and said, I've read your book and it makes me treat patients differently. Yeah, it's very, very positive.
係啦，咁Anita 就係講到咧，就係話其實佢本身個醫生咧，雖然佢唔想俾人哋知道佢即係佢咩名啦，係啦，咁但係即係佢係信 Anita 嘅，咁跟住 even Anita 同佢講話真係好多謝你，因為你係容許神去經過你雙手去治療我咁樣，咁其實佢係個醫生相信啦，咁但係咧經過本書出咗Anita 本書出咗之後咧，原來佢收到唔同世界各地嘅醫生咧都寫翻 翻信俾阿 Anita， 就話多謝佢嗰本書咧，係令到佢再嗰啲醫生咧再去面對嗰啲病人嘅時候咧，去治療病人用唔同嘅方法去治療佢哋。
係哇！呢個係好重要，
係啊，
一個人嘅經歷
係啊，
係影響咗成個世界。You are spreading the message to the whole world by your experience 啊！即係呢個係一個 amazing story 啊！咁好啦，咁而家譬如話即係經歷咗呢個啦，咁你亦都一路好翻，亦都係用科學啦，即係話醫生係親自證實，譬如你 scan 過晒，可能驗過血啊，咁樣證明咗你嘅癌細胞係一路咁去晒，而家係好翻晒，而家係 totally cancer free 嘅。
Yes，
即係而家完全係冇噶啦，已經
係啦，
係啦。咁你喺呢一個咁嘅經歷入邊，你個 lesson 係學咗啲咩咧？即係除咗話唔好有恐懼之外。
The biggest lesson I learned was that it's very, very important to love, respect, and value yourself. And that's something that most people, most parents don't teach their children, especially in Asian culture. We think it's selfish to love ourselves, but that's not true. You cannot love other people if you don't love yourself.
係啦，咁啊 Anita 講啦，最大佢學到嘅嘢咧，就係去愛啦，去respect， 即係尊重啦，同埋係知道自己係有價值嘅。咁但係因為咧喺好多地方，包括香港，尤其是香港啦，好多父母咧教佢哋小朋友咧唔好愛自己，因為愛自己係一個自私嘅行為嚟嘅。咁但係 Anita 就話呢一樣嘢唔係一個真相啦，個真相係我哋係要學識愛自己。
And the more we value ourselves, the more we actually take care of ourselves. And the more we value and love ourselves, the more energy we have to help other people.
係啦，咁佢就話我哋越去尊重同埋知道自己係有價值嘅話咧，咁我哋就會越識得去尊重人。咁頭先阿 Anita 都有講，就係話我哋要學識愛自己咧，咁我哋先至有能力或者先至會學識去愛其他人。
And that's the biggest lesson I learned, was that up until the time I got cancer, I didn't love myself at all.
你以前嘅生活都係淨係照顧人。
照顧人啊 always worry about other people, but also worried about what other people think of me.
即係好驚人哋點樣睇你。
係啊，驚人哋。
即係成日都好緊張，即係究竟咁樣做會唔會有啲人覺得我咁樣做唔好咧？或者我係咪要好照顧人咧？即係要諗咗人哋嘅諗法先，係啊，先至去即係明自己，即係有啲人係咁噶嘛。即係我以前都係咁嘅，即係會係即係覺得你就算你唔想做嗰樣嘢，譬如朋友叫你食飯，你明明好攰嘅，你為咗想嗰啲朋友開心都去啦，咁即係委屈自己，就去令到對方即係比較上係容易啲接受到啊，咁樣。開心啲啊，咁但係就其實唔應該係咁樣。
係啊，exactly right. And I learned that I learned not to give my power away, because when you don't love yourself, you give your power away to everybody else because you do what other people tell you to do. And I get confused with conflicting information. But when we love ourselves, we take our power back and then we listen to our own heart.
係啦，咁啊 Anita 就係話佢都學到一樣嘢，就係唔會將自己嘅 power 俾咗出去啦。咁當我哋如果係我哋將自己嗰個 power， 即係一啲嘅權力啊力量俾咗出去嘅話咧，咁佢會收到好多唔同嘅一啲好多唔同嘅即係混雜嘅信息啦。咁同埋佢嘅決定都係因為人哋點樣睇佢而決定，而唔係佢自己。咁佢學習咗，即係佢 learn 咗其中一個 lesson， 就係點樣去聽自己內在嘅聲音，而唔係去聽人哋嘅聲音。
And giving our power away causes a lot of confusion. It makes us follow people who maybe what they're telling is not even true. It makes us worship other people, but all our answers are here in our own heart.
咁如果即係成日都聽人哋去講嘅時候咧，咁可能基本上人哋講嘅嘢都未必係一個真相嚟嘅。咁佢Anita 就係話我哋而家佢學習咗就係聽自己個心去行動決定。
其實簡單啲講係咪即係信自己嘅直覺咧？即係
trust your instinct. Yes, and follow your heart. And it's the same with food. I used to always get confused, like
you read a lot of books,
saying you should eat this and should not eat this, and it used to confuse me so much and make me so scared. And now I just follow my own heart. And now even with food, I follow my own heart, and I tell people, if you love yourself, you will take care of yourself. If you eat healthy food, eat it because you love yourself and because you love your life, not because you are scared of illness.
OK，
係啦。咁Anita就係講話，即係講到去食嘢啦。咁佢就係話，即係當你愛自己嘅時候咧，你食啲乜嘢都係 OK 嘅，即係話當你去食嗰樣嘢嘅時候，你係 based on 愛啦，愛你自己啦，就唔係你去驚，所以先至去食嗰樣嘢。因為佢之前睇過好多唔同嘅書啊，嗰樣嘢，咁佢睇到有好多唔同嘅來源資料咧，都係大家係有混淆嘅，即係大家係唔
會搞到混亂。
咁所以佢學嗰樣嘢就係佢要跟自己嘅。聽自己嘅聲音，個身體聲音去選擇食啲乜嘢嘢。
OK， 好啦，嗱咁啊，時間差唔多啦，我哋想講講啦。其實Anita 都除咗有呢本叫《Dying to Be Me》啦，有本中文啦，即係仲有好多其他唔同嘅語言啦。咁其實咧，我知道咧，Anita 去到今年嘅8月3號啦，其實有張海報，我都會 key 翻張相俾大家睇啦。8月3號咧，咁Anita 咧亦都會有一個 workshop 嘅。咁呢個 workshop 又係叫做Dying to be me 嘅一個 workshop 啦，一個工作坊。咁其實可唔可以略講下呢個 workshop 係做啲咩嘅咧
？I will talk about the importance of loving ourselves, how we can learn to love ourselves, how does it affect our life, our relationship, the way we eat our food, and how to trust our own heart.
OK， 即係你解釋下先。
好，係啦。咁Anita話，即係喺個工作坊裏面啦，咁佢會去分享到啦，就係點樣去愛我哋自己啦。咁亦都點樣去乜嘢應該咁講，乜嘢係愛自己啦？咁點樣去愛自己啦？咁同埋咧食物點樣會影響我哋？同一時間亦都會即係影響我哋身邊其他嘅關係啊、其他嘅人啊等等等等。
即係咧就係聽到一啲信息啊，即係好似好抽象。我點樣去愛自己咧？即係點樣去就係 Anita 講話醒翻要愛自己。咁好多人都話：我好愛自己㗎啦。即係我為自己做好多嘢，但係佢其實可能都唔係好清晰地知道乜嘢叫愛自己。咁呢個 workshop 咧，Anita 咧就會係詳細咁去講，即係點樣去愛自己咧，或者就算就係最簡單講緊你食物嘅選擇啊，或者你生命入邊嗰個嘅選擇咧，都即係會有一個方式嘅。
Yeah， 係嘛？and also I'll talk about relationships and things like that。
係啦，咁Anita都會講到一啲關係上嘅問題啦，即係關係係啲乜嘢嘢啊？咁係啦
，OK。咁呢個要參加咁點樣咧？係咪有個網址或者係會有個 email address 會俾翻大家咁樣？
嗱，其實咧Anita呢一個 workshop 啦都有個網址嘅，咁個網址咧就係 www.houseoflights.com.hk/Anita 2013 sorry 2013係啦。咁我哋會唔會可以將個 link 放喺？
我都會將條 link 放翻喺個網站度啦，同埋喺個 video 下低而家呢個位啊，大約呢個位會睇到噶啦。咁啊睇翻條 link 啦。咁同埋Anita 本身都有個 Facebook 嘅，咁我唔講啦。即係你知啦，講錯一個字，佢哋抄錯個字又去唔到啊嘛。我照樣都會打埋出嚟，咁啊俾大家可以睇到。即係去睇到啦嚇，喺 Facebook 可以 at 咗 Anita 啦，同埋如果你真係想去睇呢個 workshop 啦，其實有意思嘅，即係呢個 workshop 係完全可以聽完，可能會改變咗你成個人嘅人生或者你嘅思考態度。即係你睇到一位曾經係有一個 cancer 去到末期，到而家幾開心幾健康咁坐喺我哋面前，Anita 咧，
仲要越嚟越靚。
即係呢個係啦，呢個。 咁在座個個都係嘅，包括我都係嘅，越嚟越靚。咁好啦，咁呢個 workshop 咁大家值得要去嘅，咁樣咧，希望可以幫到大家。即係香港人好多恐懼噶嘛，Hong Kong people is full of fear.
Yes,
you know,
yes, they are, and stress and fear and
係因為我真係 experience 過有啲公司係用 fear 去 control 成間公司嘅員工，即係總之你做啲唔係你冇份工噶啦。
係bosses use it, parents use it on children. Fear does not. It's not healthy to use fear to keep your children safe. Better to use love.
係啦，咁Anita就係話，即係恐懼唔係一個好嘅元素去用去對我哋嘅屋企人啊、小朋友啊、同事啊等等，最好就係用翻愛去對翻佢。呢個係啊。
好，咁嗱，今日時間差唔多，咁多謝Anita 啦，咁親身上嚟啦，就一個活見證啦，即係話俾大家聽一個真真實實嘅見證，就唔係一個即係故仔啦。你知我哋成日都講有啲故仔，你聽邊個講嘅啫，唔係親自坐咗喺我哋面前啦，咁就話翻一個見證俾大家聽，即係點樣去戰勝一個。即係一個癌症啦，咁同埋仲有多謝Shirley 喺度啦。Shirley 遲啲都要揾你上嚟訪問下你啦，傾下偈啦。你幾時又上 Big Boys Club 啊？嗰啲唔知喎，
等緊邀請，唔知我都係啊
OK
知啊，係啊。
好，咁今日時間差唔多，咁我哋下個禮拜繼續 MJ13，係咁。
好，
拜拜，
拜拜。